don't know what the hell's going on. What up, dudes? Welcome back to Crankin' the Hog. I'm your host, Killswitch Queen. And today we're going to be talking about motorcycle influencers on social media. Are they good? Are they bad? How does that relate to people who are just starting out riding and are watching these people and thinking like, yes, this is it. I want to do this. Is it good? Is it bad? I don't know. Let's talk about it. Just like the moto-influencers of today's social media, we're going to be wearing our helmet, keeping it mysterious as if you don't already know what I look like. But that's okay. That's besides the point. What really sparked my interest in making this video was somebody who posted a video, and I don't think I'm going to name any names in here. I'm just going to show their reels or whatnot, stuff that I've been seeing on Instagram. And what she posted was basically poking fun at people who obviously probably either get in accidents or drop their bikes or don't know how to ride. And it's to say that, you shouldn't be buying a 360 camera. You should just be learning how to get lessons. Yes and no. I think the reason that kind of stings for some people, there are some haters, is because it is true. There's a lot of people who buy a motorcycle because they think it's cool, which arguably it is very cool to ride a motorcycle. Then they go out and buy a camera and they start making videos. They make a social media account and start posting and sharing everything, which I don't blame them. That's what I did. I got a motorcycle. I rode for quite some time before I really started making like moto vlogs style stuff. And this was long before it was really posting any sort of videos on social media. But people who are making videos now, and I don't know if it's just that there are more people with access to cameras, or all of these like video editing things are just way more accessible nowadays, right? As opposed to so many years ago. I think it's easier now more than ever for somebody to, when you have a motorcycle, just buy the Insta360 or whatever camera, because video editing, there's no gatekeeping anymore. All of the information on how to edit, it's all for free online. You can just, if you take the time, you can learn how to edit all these things and then upload it. I guess what I've noticed now is that there are so many accidents. And since I've been posting again on Instagram and YouTube and such, my algorithm has changed and I've been getting way more motorcycle content, which again, awesome. I love it. But there are a lot of things that just strike me as red flags. And I also see a lot of accidents and a lot of people dropping their bikes and struggling. And props to you for sharing it, okay? You obviously, it happens to us all, and it is, sure, it's good content. Everybody wants to see people, drop their bike and be in an accident. It sucks to say, but that's just the reality that we live in. People probably do need to spend way more time practicing instead of being on the streets. And this is going to trail off into a couple different topics that I want to talk about today. So the first one being that learning how to ride a motorcycle. It's obviously so enticing when you see all of these moto influencers posting videos, riding around with their friends, or just doing really cool edits, right? It's so edgy. It's so cool. Motorcycles are just plain cool. That's never changed. What I've seen is some people who just started learning to ride themselves have then in turn started making video series where they're teaching you how to ride. And I don't know, do you see the kind of the correlation I'm trying to make here? I feel like somebody who's brand new to riding and just learned probably shouldn't be teaching anybody else how to ride. They themselves aren't as experienced. And while, yes, there are some fundamentals that no matter what, you're going to be correct about it, right? Pulling in your clutch and shifting down as you get to a stop. That's never going to change. That's going to be the same way for everybody. But I think it's kind of scary because it's like sort of the blind leading the blind. I want to pose it to you this way. Would you rather somebody with a lifetime of experience of riding motorcycles, possibly being a trainer or coach, maybe track days, maybe not. I don't think that's necessary to teach somebody how to ride a motorcycle. Is it good? Yes. More experience? Sure. Someone who has just way more experience teaching you versus somebody who just learned to ride 6 months ago and they have a camera and they're really excited to share it. I love the enthusiasm, but I don't think that that's going to fly. It's just, you have to be careful. If you're a new rider or somebody who's brand new to the motorcycle world, be careful who you're listening to. Okay? Now, this is not to discredit any one person. Everyone has their own experience with learning to ride a motorcycle and trying to teach you. Some people may have a certain way of teaching you how to ride that just makes it click more and you understand better than the other person who's trying to teach you, and it just doesn't make sense. In that case, I would say that's fine. But again, careful who you are listening to and watching when you're just starting out and you want to learn how to ride, because you could really hurt yourself. There's just way too much information out there about how to ride a motorcycle and tips for riding. Everyone has their own little secret spice that they want to throw out there on like tips on like, oh, you got to go into this and you got to be trail braking, but don't use your rear brake, but only use your rear brake, but only use a little bit of front brake, but not too much front brake. There's just so much nuance to these sort of things. I see a lot of videos about cornering for beginner riders. Honestly, don't even worry about cornering, dude. Don't worry about cornering. Is it important? Yes. Don't worry about taking corners faster. You need to be worrying about how to do U-turns, okay? How to maneuver yourself in a parking lot. How to emergency stop, all right? How to train your brain to looking ahead, always scanning the road. You don't need to be worried about riding as fast as possible through a corner or how to take it as smooth as possible. Chances are you're probably going slow through most of your corners, and that's just fine. You want to make it through the corner. There's no need to rush anything. I mean, people, you guys are dropping your bikes at stop signs, okay? Don't worry about the corners. This is why I'm always going to recommend a smaller bike when you start out, okay? Ninja 250. Maybe a 300, maybe a 400, okay? I don't think you need to do anything more than that. I think even a 400 is probably pushing it. I say a 250 or 300. 250 obviously is great as a budget motorcycle because you can pick them up for $2,000 and you can resell them for $2,000. It's never going to lose any value. Now I know what you're saying. Killswitch Queen, a 250 is too slow. It's not fast enough on the highway. Bruh, you do not need to be worrying about going fast. It's just shouldn't be in your vocabulary for starting riding a motorcycle, okay? None of you should be worrying about going fast if you're starting riding. You need to be worried about going slow. And you need to be worried about learning how to stop. That's another huge one. There's so many videos of people panicking, slamming on the brakes, instead of learning how to swerve out of the way of things, looking ahead so that you can see the car that's turning in front of you, and emergency stopping, okay? I've had my own fair share of close calls, but because I practiced those things so much, you can sort of see danger coming and you know how to avoid it. And when things happen, I didn't catch it on video, but it was just the other week I was lane splitting and I had a car cut me off while I was lane splitting. And did I scream and yell at them and take off their mirror? No. I was upset, but I was more happy that I was able to brake in time so that I didn't die, I didn't hurt myself, because they're going to be fine. You have to think about that. For the most part, if you hit a car or a car hits you, that person's fine. It's you need to be worried about. That's another thing, road raging. I'm not even going to get into that. I've ridden with a lot of different people over the years. I've ridden with many different groups. And I've ridden with people who do road rage and get mad at cars and flip people off. And it is the most uncool thing I think you can do, especially if you're riding with a group. Because I want... It may be if you're a new rider and this has never happened to you, I want you to consider this, okay? The person whose mirror you take off, the person who you flip off, for whatever reason, even if they're in the wrong, they can so easily just destroy your life by hitting you with their car. And it's something that you probably, in the moment, or for the most part, maybe you don't think about. But just consider your loved ones and what your friends and family will have to go through because you want to be stupid. I don't know. It just never seems worth it to me when people road rage. And I used to be bad myself. I used to be notorious road rager when I was in my car. And I've gotten so much better about it on the bike because if somebody hits you in your car, you're fine. Whatever. I mean, for the most part, right? I mean, you're going to be fine if it's like just coming around a corner and hit a car. Your car has safety measures in place. A motorcycle does not. There is no seatbelt. There is no airbags, although they do make motorcycle airbags now that you can wear, whatever. Most of us are not buying them. I don't know anybody who has one. It doesn't take much to break your arms or legs or, heaven forbid, your back or crack your skull. Dude, people die just falling and slipping in their house, dude. That's like one of the top places that you die is at home. You fall and slip out of the shower and hit your head and crack your skull, and that's it. That's it. It's over. Dude, if I go out that way, I'd be so mad. That's why I always wear a bicycle helmet whenever I go ride a bicycle, because I'd be so pissed off to go out that way, dude. I don't even care how dorky it looks, okay? And that's the other thing. It doesn't matter how dorky you look when you hit the ground and you don't break any bones. Hooray! You're going to be so happy, as opposed to like going to the hospital or, heaven forbid, you're out of work. Your family has to take care of you. Somebody has to take care of you. You're now a burden on somebody else's life because you wanted to be stupid. The juice ain't worth the squeeze. The effort required to achieve a desired outcome is not worth it. Maybe I'm just getting older. Maybe I'm just getting old, dude. I am the old millennial, shaking my fist at the sky, angry at these kids. It's awesome to see so many young people now getting into motorcycles, and it's very nostalgic for me. I'm looking back at when I started riding a motorcycle. In fact, I've been looking on Facebook and Craigslist for my first bike that I had, which was a 2009 Ninja 250. I'm having a hard time finding it, but that's okay. They're cool little bikes, and there's nothing wrong. I had that bike for a year, and I actually absolutely ripped, and I still probably wasn't as fast as I could have been on that bike. I really didn't have a reason other than I wanted to do long highway rides, and it wasn't fun on long highway rides, which obviously I do a lot of long highway rides now. So it just depends on what kind of riding you want to do. I love doing long motorcycle trips. Not everybody likes doing that. Some people like just, ride around on the weekends, and that's fine. But that's why I would argue, get yourself a small bike, learn how to ride on the small bike first, learn how to go slow on the slow bike, and then learn how to go slow on a faster bike. And then those fundamentals are going to follow you everywhere. It doesn't matter what you ride in the future. The fundamentals will follow you, and you can stay safe. You're going to enter the corner too fast a couple of times. That's fine. It's going to happen. It's all right. But if you practice your fundamentals and you've trained and practiced in the parking lot and done enough, you do the same turn 1,000 times, ride the same roads, just keep practicing on back roads, you're going to get there and you're going to get better. And you won't end up being the next viral reel video on Instagram of somebody absolutely obliterating their motorcycle and sending out a GoFundMe because you can't afford anything because you're stuck in a hospital and your family has to take care of you. That's so lame, dude. So, motorcycle influencers. I think if you want to be one, that's awesome. I feel like, I don't even know, am I considered a motorcycle influencer? I don't know, dude. I did the same thing. I got a motorcycle, I got a camera, and I was like, this is now going to be my entire personality. But I also became a motorcycle mechanic, so it's like what I do for work, sort of. It's what I would like to do more of. I also enjoy making videos a lot, so this is just fun for me. Maybe I'll do it full time one day. I need money. So that's really the moral of this video, is just careful who you let influence you when it comes to motorcycle things. And don't believe everything you see on the internet. You can watch videos and listen to dudes on the internet yap for hours until your eyes bleed on how to ride a motorcycle and how to corner and how to do faster and how all these things work. The best way is going to be to just go ride. You just have to put the seat time in. You have to put the miles in. You got to get out there and just ride the motorcycle, dude. Just ride the motorcycle. Those videos and reading all the things and watching Twisted the Wrist, it's only going to do you so much good if you don't actually go practice and feel it for yourself. And sometimes it is going to take going out with some friends. Go out with somebody who has a lot of experience. I'm not talking about Uncle Ricky up the road. Go out with somebody who has some experience, who can teach you and can point some things out on what you're doing wrong, especially if you're trying to improve. That's all. And we need to help each other. If you have friends who you won't get a small bike because you won't be able to keep up with them, and they won't ride any slower because you're just trying to learn, those aren't good friends. I think you need to find new friends. Because I know if I have somebody with me who is a much slower rider or a much newer rider, I will go slower for them. And it's just something you gotta know. It's like, okay, this person's coming. I need to ride slower. I need to be more careful because I want us to all have a good time. I don't want them to feel like they're like struggling to keep up, because that's not what friends do. You don't leave your friends behind, dude. No, that's messed up. No man left behind. Where's the loyalty? Where's the brotherhood? Come on, y'all. All right. Anyway, I think that's just going to about do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any thoughts and opinions on motorcycle influencers, good, bad, yes, no, is this a bad trend that's going on? Let me know down in the comments. I'll see you guys in the next podcast. Cheers!